Did you know that 90% of the world's millionaires invest in real estate? Well, I'm Angel with the Academy Presents Real Estate Investing Rocks, and I'm here to help you if you want to go for your piece of that pie. And one of the things I'm learning from, because I have a lot of military friends that have gotten into real estate and they are crazy successful with it. And something I heard one of my friends say the other day was Marcella Soberanis, and she said we were in a mastermind or something, and she didn't say it to me, but I heard her say it. And she said one of the things that the military teaches you is to leave your emotions at the door.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? And she's like, yeah, all of your decisions have to be made without emotion. And she wasn't saying it to me. It was something I heard her say to somebody else, and I was like, huh? Because how hard is that for the average person? To leave those emotions, leave those assumptions, leave all of those things at the door and proceed without them with logic only.
Yeah.
That's really difficult. And maybe that's why some of my military friends have been so dang successful. It's because that's drilled into them. I
And
mean, I don't know. I wasn't military, so
there's a lot of military people in this in this space, in this
absolutely.
multifamily investing space, and it's interesting. Um, One of the things that I think I found out, and I just wanted to say to any of them, to to them listening, hey, thanks for your service. Appreciate
Absolutely.
what you do and how you keep us safe. Grateful for that, especially this time of year. Um, Somebody said to me one time that it's because they move around so much and they get to buy real estate in different parts of the country or different parts of the world, and they own, I talked to somebody who was overseas, and they owned 8 or 9 piece of property in Europe and
Oh, wow.
in domestically, that they would buy something, move and rent it, and buy something and move and rent it. And it's
I think
interesting.
that that is an awesome idea. And I had this conversation with someone else, and I was like, it's really it's the only occupation where your personal home can be good debt. And he was like, what? I'm like, so good debt is debt that you have that somebody else pays for.
Right.
Well, your personal home doesn't usually fall into that.
Right.
But if you're able to, even for a portion of time, have your personal residence paid with whether fully or partially by somebody else,
Yeah.
it becomes a piece of good debt.
Right.
And yes, the cost to be able to get there is super high, but you still get to have your personal residence be good debt for a portion of time. And that is just, that's wild. And explaining that to someone who's not doing real estate, that's in the military, and watching that light bulb go off is super cool.
Productive debt, right? Productive debt.
And so yeah, I have a friend, Krista, that they buy two houses every time they're stationed somewhere, one to live in, one to rent. And then when they move, they have two rentals every single time they're stationed somewhere else. So every single time they PCS, two more houses.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah. So they've really used that to their benefit. And it's been awesome for them. And they've been able to, like, when they have a friend that's in need, they can sell one of those houses to that friend in need at a reduced price that helps that person. So they're able to not only benefit themselves when they move into that town, but they're also able to benefit others and give back and get that significance of giving back, and that feel good, makes your heart grow kind of effect to be able to do that for others. So they've been able to use it for so many things. When you made the move into multifamily, what pushed you to go that direction?
Was something I always wanted to do, first of all, and the market was changing. I think I mentioned that I knew I wasn't going to be able to sell as many homes. My production was going to change, and I figured it was a good time. It was 2005. The market was softening. I knew something was going to happen. I didn't had no idea that 2008 was going to have the effect it had or do what it did, but I knew something was going to happen. I had that foresight. So it was like, okay, so I don't I've never been one to want to lay people off or make people, lose their job. And if my production would have changed and the number of homes I was selling would have went down. I would have had to, I had staff working for me. And so I said, this is probably a great time to try it. And I put a little silly ad in the newspaper back when you really shouldn't even do this, right? But I said, real estate investors wanted, learn how to make uh, passive cash flow, and a phone number. And my phone rang off the hook. I mean, I was like, this was this was back when you could put a classified ad in the newspaper for 45 bucks for the weekend, and my phone rang off the hook. And I, like, at first I was like, God, what do I tell these people, right? And I just stumbled my way through. Yeah, we're going to buy this apartment. And I had this deal under contract. I said, I'm buying this 11 unit apartment building, and, I'm looking for investors. And, oh, tell me about it. What's the key? And listen, I made a lot of mistakes on this deal because I listened to the owner. I didn't do any due diligence. The owner said, oh, your rents are $50 a month under market. And we were $50 a month over market at best. And we couldn't raise the rents. And even if we did repairs, people would move in and trash the place, and people didn't pay rent. And it was a nightmare. This deal was a nightmare. But we managed to make money, and I managed to go full cycle on the thing, and my investors made money, and it was like, holy cow. But I did that first deal, and then over the next 30 months, I just here's what I did. I gave a real estate presentation, an investing seminar in my office every Tuesday and Thursday for 2 years. I put 20 new faces on Tuesday night and Thursday night in my office, and I built a database from like 250 people to 7,000 people.
Wow.
I did a few other events around the country, and we raised a bunch of money and bought a whole bunch of real estate. Bought $60 million worth of real estate, 4,000 apartments in 30 months. Grew way too fast. And when you grow way too fast and you're unstable and you're over leveraged, and a few other challenges, it creates some stress, and gets rocky. So we had some issues, and um, built a property management company along with that. Managed probably about 7,500, at one point almost 10,000 units, and
Wow.
unwound those deals, and went and built another property management company, which I sold. And today I coach and train. So I think that was a long way to answer your question, but I wanted to get, that kind of full story in there. So, and today I
Yeah.
coach and I train, and I love to give back. I love to teach people, whether you are a real estate investor or somebody who complements the investor. So the broker, the lender, the insurance agent, I think everybody needs coaching, on how to do more. I've been coached for 25 years. I still have two coaches in my life, and I can equate year after year my business growing 20% a year as a direct result of being coached. I told you, I didn't start out prospecting 20,000, dialing the phone 20,000 times a year. That was a number I built up to because my coach continually challenged me, continually put more in front of me, continually gave me new techniques, new things, helped me self-discover that I could do more and that I wanted more. And so as a result of that, that's what coaching does. It's a self-discovery. It's not, hey, Angel, it's not me telling you what to do, but it's me helping you discover what's inside of you. So
Well, no, and it's I 100% agree. Everybody needs a coach or a mentor. Everybody does. And I have people that are freaking out over $100 a month. And when I hear them freak out, I'll do a private message and I'll put out how much we've spent. And they're like, oh my God. And they freak out. And then I'm like, you know what though? Our net worth increased $200,000 last year.
yeah,
So look at how much we spent and you make your own decisions.
right.
But investing in yourself is always going to help you.
Yep.
And like it may not happen overnight. It's taken me, oh goodness, probably 5 months to really hone in on what it was I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to help people. And I was like, at first, it was like, I want to help teachers. And that's still my main. But then it was like last night, I was on a call with a coach, and I was like, wait a second. And it hit me. I see Uncle Sam in my head in that poster. We want you, or I want you, for the US military. And it dawned on me that I don't want to focus on just teachers or just first responders. I want to focus on you. You can get in real estate investing, and that means anyone. But I want you to think about getting involved in real estate investing because it is an amazing wealth creation vehicle. Just
Right.
amazing. And so many of us have no clue. We
Right.
weren't taught in school. We certainly weren't taught in grade school. Like my daughter, when she was in third grade, her teacher had given her, it was a reward, and it was this little polyester pom pom poof thing. And she had several of them. And she told me that she gave one to a friend. And I about lost, and this is going to share some of my views, which I tend to not put my views out there because I don't want it to damage anything. But I looked at her and I was like, oh my God, are you a Democrat? Because she was sharing something she worked so hard for. And then she tells me,
Oh, geez.
she goes, no, mama, she paid me for it. I was like, what? And so that made me even more angry. But then I went to the other room. I was like, wait a second. This is a teaching moment. And I
Yeah.
went back to my little girl's third grade, mind you. I said, how much did she pay you? And she was like, oh, it was a few pennies or 5 cents or something. I was like, so you think you could sell more of those? She's like, yeah, I think I could. I'm like, well, because you can buy them at Hobby Lobby. And she was like, what? So I gave her a loan, and we went to Hobby Lobby together, and I gave her a loan to buy her first bag of those little polyester pom-poms. She called them pets. It was like the pet rock thing in the 80s.
Okay.
These pom-poms, they didn't have eyes, they didn't have nothing. They were just pom-poms, and she called them pets. And she sold them in all sorts of sizes. There were micro pets, mini pets, small pets, mediums, large pets. Then they came in different colors and fireworks. And so she gave them all these different names, and she's selling these pets and she's making money. And we did a very simple profit and loss. We did a little T chart, and I taught her how to keep up with all of her money and everything. And that year, she paid off her loan, and she was able to resupply
Oh my goodness.
her pets. And when it came time for summer camp, she had enough supplies left over that she was able to do all of her swaps. And I didn't have to come out of pocket at all because she was able to fund all of her swaps, not just for that summer camp, but for like 2 more years of summer camps.
Wow. That's crazy.
And
Good
that was
for
third
her. Good
grade.
for her. What a great lesson, though.
Yeah. And then, like in sixth grade, she decided she was going to start doing it with these little rubber band bracelets and jewelries and stuff. So we went to the store. I didn't have to give her a loan this time, but we went to the store and bought her all these different colors of rubber bands. Well, this time she decides she's going to have employees, but she's going to train her employees and let them do their own sales, but they have to buy all their supplies from her. And she's the one that's training them all. And I was just like, holy night.
Oh, geez.
And it was so cool to see that in her. And
Nice.
it took a little bit though. I got angry at first because I was like, why are you giving away your rewards? And then I had to stop myself from making those assumptions and back up and say, okay, wait a second. What can we learn from this? And I was able to flip it. And so now I have this little budding entrepreneur who's now a 12-year-old, about to be 13, that likes to run little businesses. And she's good at it. And she understands how to keep up with the basic profit and loss from it now too. And
Nice.
so that was cool.
Yeah. Very cool. Hey, you mentioned something about the cost of education or the cost of that coaching and training. Here, I wrote a book called Exit Plan, and it's your complete guide to multifamily investing and why you need an exit plan before you buy. But my whole thing is I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on coaching and training, seminars, books, and tapes over the years, and some really, really good trainers, some really, really good coaches and teachers. People always teach us how to get in a deal, how to find a deal, how to run a deal. Nobody ever teaches us how to get out. And my whole premise is you need to know how to get out. Listen, you should have an exit plan before you ever get to the closing table. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you're selling the deal, you're giving up control, you're getting out of the deal. It just means that you are doing something to exit, right? It's like when you do your due diligence, if you run a 10-year spread on it, you usually make money somewhere within that 10 years is the top of that deal. And that's when you should do something. So if it's at 7 years that's your maximum profitability point, what you should do is you should recapitalize and run the deal another 10 years. Or you should sell the deal and get out, or bring an investor in, or do something, but form some kind of a capital event, some exit. And I don't think that we're taught that. I actually just read a book, 390 pages, by a famous real estate investor and trainer. And on like page 370, one little 8-line paragraph, he says, that brings us to exit plan. All your hard work. And I thought to myself, are you kidding me? I said, you should have known this 300 pages ago, right? So I think that it's a service to the investor to learn how to get out of the deal. So with that said, I want all your listeners to know that they can go download a copy of that book on my website, the ebook version for free. Just go to mycoreintentions.com, go to the ebook for exit plan. It's on the front page. And when you are going through the checkout process, in the coupon code box, put the Academy, and your download will be free.
Oh, I'm typing it in here. Use the
There you
code.
go.
It was use the code the Academy.
Yes.
Okay. Space or no space?
Space, yeah.
All right. Cool. So the book title is Exit Plan, and use the code the Academy.
Yep, there you go.
Awesome. And that's so cool that you bring that up, because when I told my friend Peely that, first off, I caught a little slack from a few friends of mine because they knew that the portfolio I was looking at was single families. And especially my friend Sandia, she's like, Angel, what is your end goal? You want to be in multifamily. So you need to be making moves that support that end goal. And she knew, and Peely knew, that I'm looking at this portfolio and it's single family, but it kind of fell into our laps, and we're thinking about how much we can learn from it. And one of the things Peely said was, she said, what are your exit strategies? She said, what are your options? Can you wholesale it? Do you have somebody that's willing to buy it? Can you sell it? Can you sell one of them and keep the other one? She's like, what do you have in play? How are you going to get out of it if it turns sour? And I'd never really thought of that before. And then to hear you say it too, I'm like, yeah, it really, especially right now with all of the uncertainty and just the tumultuous nature of everything going on, if you don't come into a deal knowing how you can download it and get out of it, you're putting yourself and everybody that's invested with you at a disadvantage.
Right. Yeah, it makes a difference. That's for sure.
Yeah, I would have never, that honestly, that would have never even entered my mind. But when you said that, and then I thought about what she had said, it was like, that is super important.
Yeah.
Because if you don't know how to get out of it, you're going to flounder in it.
Right.
And you're going to wind up losing more money each and every day that you can't get out of that deal. If you don't mind kind of talking a little bit, what are some options that you present for getting out of a deal, for like once you're into it?
Well, one is recapitalizing, and one is bringing a partner in. And I go into depth on these, and of course, one is relinquishing control and selling out off the deal anyhow. But those are probably those are three, great examples. And I think that there's, we drill down into those a little bit further.
Yeah. So no, but that's so important for everyone, whether you're doing single family or the residential multifamily, those 2 to 4 unit deals, or you're doing 11 to 20, or you're doing over 20, whether it's small or large. You've got to know how to get out of it. Even if it's just a JV, it's you and one partner, y'all don't want to be losing money over the deal. So we've been pushing for a little bit here. We're like about an hour and a half in, and I just want to thank everyone for hanging with us. And this was so, so, so awesome. Thank you for just sharing with us and talking with us about what you've done and just the way you've changed, like just the ideas behind it and your own ideas about real estate and how you got into it. And just, I think there's just that reiteration too of you, you don't have to be some crazy real estate, been in it for 50 years to be successful.
Right.
You don't have to have gone to college and gotten a degree in real estate. I think there's a lot of falsehoods out there that people believe, oh, well, I can't be successful in real estate if I didn't do XYZ.
Right.
And that's just not the reality. If you want to do real estate, dang it, do real estate.
That's right. Go for it. Yeah. Jump
Seriously,
off the cliff.
yeah. And it's not even jumping off a cliff because I haven't met someone that truly made the decision to go into real estate that didn't experience some level of success.
Yeah. That's for
And
sure.
it's that level of action. If you take massive action, you're going to see massive success.
Right.
If you just kind of half-ass it, you're going to get half-ass results. I mean, I don't know any other way to say it. So it's all about the individual and how much you're willing to push it. But seriously, just make the decision if that's what you want to do and just do it. So just again, thank you for being with us today and for sharing with us and for sharing your massive knowledge. I know that people are going to get so much out of this, and just thank you.
You're welcome.
I
I
love
really
these.
appreciate it too. So
Well, I just love having these, and I learn so much. So, a little bit of it's selfish, maybe a lot of it's selfish. But I love getting to know people and I love learning. And then I love being able to share that with people. And that's that educator heart in me wanting to be filled and just wanting to share. And I know that people in this space are just so helpful, and we all want to help one another and share what we have. And just thank you again. And make sure you hit his website, www.mycoreintentions.com. The ebook is there. Code is the Academy, so you can get that free download. And man, exit strategies are another tool that you're going to want to have in your tool belt when it comes to this tumultuous time we're in with all of the uncertainty and just the craziness that surrounds it. So fill up that tool belt with every single thing that you can to make this work for you.
thanks, Angel.
Yeah. No, thank you. Guys, I will see you next time. So see ya. Thank you again, Mr. Morawski, for being with us today. And guys, just if this is something you want to do, just do it. Make the decision and get after it. I will see you next time. Have a great Thanksgiving. And if you're listening to this and it's coming out super late, have a great holiday for whatever is coming up for you. So see you next time, guys.